Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome in to another edition of That Wrestling Show, a special post-show edition for WWE's Super Showdown. You NESN viewers, of course, know me as Mike Wendt from Wicked Bites every Saturday morning at 9:30, and WWE was nice enough to get it over at 9 o'clock because they knew everyone would be heading over to NESN to check out Wicked Bites. Cheap plug. Liam!
Yeah, I'm Liam Stryker of the New Age Insiders. You can find me every Wednesday night live on NewAgeInsiders.com.
Doing the wrestling talk.
Doing the wrestling talks.
Talking the graphs.
Yeah.
Let's get into the graphs because we have a post show for WWE
This
Super
is our first
Show.
post show.
It's not.
Well, it's my first post show.
We did one for SummerSlam. You missed it.
Yeah, because I was at SummerSlam.
Myself and Rachel Holt covered the entire SummerSlam. It was a lot of fun. But this is for Super
was there and had a lot of
Showdown. It is for Super Showdown held in Australia. It was on WWE Network this morning at 5 a.m. So yeah, we're a little punchy right now.
Yeah, so spoiler alert?
We're a little tired. Melbourne Cricket Ground held 70,309 screaming Aussies.
Yes. The first question of the evening is, why wasn't this called WWE Super Showdown Under?
I believe that's a bit too much of a shoehorning.
Yeah,
A bit too much.
We are talking about WWE, okay?
It was also, I mean, it's also the biggest, most hyped, largest house show ever.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be beginning of the new norm for WWE. We've seen it with the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Then obviously this, and then the upcoming Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel,
right?
too.
So I think that we're going to see a lot more international shows as the wrestling fan base that watches everything on the internet, watches everything on the WWE Network, have gravitated to shows like New Japan Pro Wrestling that start at 3 o'clock in the morning. There is a lot of fan base. There is a lot.
You're used to this.
I am used to this.
Being a New Japan guy, you're used to getting up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for wrestling.
Next week, there's another New Japan show, and I'll be watching it.
This is a rarity for me. They did Beast in the East, that special Brock Lesnar in the Tokyo Dome type of thing, and okay, so I don't mind it. I don't mind the international shows once in a while.
Well, the good thing is
I'm not a morning guy, so I can't do this every week.
Right. The good thing is that it's live if you want it to be there. Otherwise, it's on tape delay. Right. You can go to the WWE Network right now. If you haven't watched Super Showdown, go pause this, come back to it, and we're going to obviously talk about it. But
We're going to break it down.
But we're going to break it down. But go watch it because it's worth watching.
Exactly. And honestly, if we weren't so dedicated to that wrestling show right here on NESN, we would be watching it on demand.
Oh yes.
I mean,
yes.
I think I can speak for you in this one.
Yeah.
But let's jump right into the card here. A match I wasn't terribly excited for ended up being one of the more fun matches, I will say. Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics.
Yeah, this one.
Because it's one of those things I always forget the Iconics. Oh yeah, they're Australian. And they come out, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun.
I really like the Iconics. I think that the Iconics have been doing the Bella Twin thing a lot better than the Bella Twins did.
We'll get to them in a minute because I have thoughts.
Yeah, because they play this like best friend, almost sister type characters. They're really into each other. They're kind of goofy. I always equate them to Muppets.
They're also kind of the new Mean Girls.
Right, and so it's fun. They're very good, and they're talented in the ring, so that definitely helps.
And that was what always surprises me because they come out and, like you said, they're very comparable to the Bella Twins in their personalities.
Right.
But then they actually work.
Right, and they're far better.
They put in work, and this was a much better match than I gave it credit for going into it. I mean, Asuka and Naomi, it's like, oh, Asuka's going to kill him. It's just going to.
Right.
But also, I'm like, they're keeping their own, and they won.
Yeah, that was
the
Iconics
Iconics won, and it was so cool because again, they're from Australia. They had 70,000 of their countrymen in attendance, and you could see them going back. And Billy Kay was still trying to do the gimmick, but it was too much, and they just started like putting their hands over their faces and like, this is emotional as hell.
Right. You look at it, and especially from WWE's perspective, 90% of the time when it's your hometown, you're going to lose. That
was what shocked me most about this show because you're absolutely right.
You know?
If you're wrestling in your hometown, you're going down.
Yeah, right.
Plain and simple.
Because it's going to get the most heat.
Right.
And so...
Especially because they're heels.
Right. And so... it was interesting. It was shocking.
It was fun.
And when it's unpredictable, it's better that way.
Yeah, it was fun. Next match I got on my card. I'm not going in order of the show itself. John Cena and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Elias. A return of that actor from Blockers, John Cena.
Right.
Looking all the dad part. And Elias, and let's just talk about, because we'll get to the finish in a minute, but Elias and Kevin Owens, I feel, can do no wrong.
No, they're really good at what they do. For those of you that didn't watch the Go Home SmackDown to the Super Showdown, they were in Seattle, and they were just booed for 5 straight minutes.
It was wonderful.
Everybody on this program is stuck to a script, right? Unless you're the elite of the returners of a Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker, you're handed a script.
Yep.
You're expected to recite the script.
Word for word, comma for comma.
The only people that I feel are the exception are Elias and Kevin Owens.
Right.
On SmackDown, they talked about how a tag team of John Cena and Bobby Lashley makes about as much sense as having a basketball team in Seattle.
Ooh.
Apparently, that's a really big nerve still because they refuse to let them speak.
Oh, yeah.
For 5 to 8 minutes.
But they played it so well because they just barreled through.
Right.
They
just
cut straight through.
Going into it. It was great. And then they start off here. They start off with a promo, the Hi, I Am Elias, and he plays AC/DC on the guitar, and it's just captivating.
It was great.
And then you talk about the physical match quality of these two performers, and it's some of the best that WWE
Well, and that's the best part about them. Not only are they probably the best characters we have on TV, they can do the promos, but once the bell rings, they can also do that too.
Right.
They can work in the ring. Bobby Lashley handled the most of it.
Yes, he did.
John Cena came in, did a couple of moves, did all 6 of his moves.
Yeah, he's got a new 6th move.
He has a 6th move, and I tweeted you.
Yeah.
Did you get the translation down?
No,
The
I
pronunciation.
didn't. No.
Okay, it's some kind of Mandarin word, but basically it's the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah.
It's that meme that everybody's created about John Cena in the animated GIF where he does the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah, and goes Super
and explodes. Yeah. But ask Corey Graves what it's called.
Yeah. John Cena.
Because that was the finish.
Right.
It was the weakest punch I've ever seen, and it's the finish.
There were 2 things that I was not super... Like, one, very excited that John Cena came back. I need more John Cena in my life. John Cena, I need you to come back because I need you to save us from Roman Reigns. But I also need you
Them's the fighting words.
I also need you to start working out again because he looked
skinny.
He looked very skinny.
But I think it's by design also.
Yeah.
I mean, he's mentioned a bunch of times. He even cut another one of those "Is he retiring?" promos again, which I'll get to that in the last match. I'm getting a little tired of that stuff. But I feel it's one of those things, if you remember when The Rock first started doing movies.
Right.
He slimmed way down. Like he's not always been the Samoan Hulk that he is now.
Yeah, right.
He slimmed way down for his first few movies. The Tooth Fairy, the what he did at Foxborough, Game Plan.
Game Plan, yeah.
He was skinny as hell. Like he was skinnier than he was in the 90s when he wrestled.
Right.
So it's like I feel they're kind of doing the same thing with John, because in Blockers he was John Cena.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, he's playing the dorky dad, but he is jacked to hell.
Yeah, the hair, he's
clearly doing a movie.
Right, he's clearly doing a movie, and he just doesn't look like John Cena. And that was disappointing, right?
Sure.
Just because I now miss John Cena.
You know what he should have done though? You know what he should have done? Just kept the T-shirt on like TNA Sting.
TNA Sting. TNA Sting.
When the arms start going, man, put the shirt on.
Yeah. Right.
So of course Bobby Lashley, John Cena won with the Dragon Ball Z move, which you didn't learn.
Face punch. Yeah, no, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
The Riot Squad versus Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins. This is a match that has some unexpected substance to it.
Yeah. The finish was my favorite part.
It was wonderful, and we'll get there. But first of all, great that Liv Morgan is back in action.
Great that
because that was scary as hell.
Yeah. You can listen to, we covered it on the New Age Insiders 2 weeks ago.
I assume you would.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago. We even had Chase Del Monte, the owner of Chaotic Wrestling, the new owner of Chaotic Wrestling, and local independent wrestler from around this area. Go and check it out. He came on. He gave his thoughts about it. When we talked about Liv Morgan.
So you couldn't be labeled as guys that never spent 5 minutes in the business.
Well, yeah, like I said, we talk about that. Then you have Brie Bella knocking out Liv Morgan a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. So it's good to have her back. It's good to see her new hairstyle.
I like it.
I thought it was really fun. She looked like cotton candy Sporty Spice.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, I can dig it. But what it did, and of course something like that, especially the video going viral, causes that you have to bring it to TV. So immediately they got Liv going after Brie and getting a little bit of on-camera payback, if you will.
Right.
For the match, though, Nikki Bella kind of did most of the work.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. I'm not going to say Nikki Bella is the greatest wrestler, but of the two, I'll take Nikki Bella in the ring over Brie any day of the week.
Yeah,
twice on Sundays. But what it did, and I'm sure you noticed it as well, there was that brief moment before the match started, where Nikki and Ronda, who's going to start the match, and there was kind of a awkward more than friction.
Yeah, it was like an alpha female, like dominant who's the lead dog here. The thing with Nikki Bella
Planting seeds.
Nikki Bella is good. Right?
Good.
She's gotten way better from when she started.
True.
It's really unfortunate for her that WWE is going to kind of shoehorn her into one of the elite women that they've ever had.
True.
And that's going to cause some unnecessary eye rolling because she's not.
She's not.
She's good, but she's not elite.
Yeah, but she does have her own YouTube channel.
You're right. I didn't even think of that.
That is important. It puts us in the elite too. But yes, so she handled most of the match, which was fine. She did the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Ronda got in, cleaned house, and as you said, probably one of the moments of the night.
Yeah.
Or the morning, excuse me.
Yeah, one of the
moments of the morning.
Of the early morning.
Was a double stacked armbar.
Yeah, having both of them tap out. That was great. Also, I loved hearing about Sarah Logan's Viking training.
Weird. Weird. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I am awake, right?
Right.
This is happening.
Right. Michael Cole starts going on, just casually drops that Sarah Logan has Viking training.
He made some reference that she was training with or hanging out with, and he said a word. I don't remember what the word was. And there was an awkward silence, and either Renee or Corey go, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And then just this diatribe of Viking training and Viking bars and Viking this, and she makes her own clothes. And I'm just like, what is happening? There's a weird cross somewhere on her body. I don't know where.
I couldn't find
I'm like,
it.
and I was actually looking for it. That like took away from the mat. I'm like, all right, where's the cross? Is it the thing over her eye? Is that what he's talking about? No, he said on the whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't.
Whatever. But the Riot Squad is a breath of fresh air. I do enjoy watching them. But seeing Ronda do the double armbar.
Yeah.
The first thing that went through my head is, at some point in the next few weeks, we're going to see the Bellas in that armbar.
Oh, of course.
We're going to see them, because that's what we're talking about. They're planting the seeds of Nikki Bella challenging Ronda Rousey at Evolution in, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
But they're in a weird situation because while Brie Bella is still attached to the Daniel Bryan, you can't have her be a bad guy. Because she can't be a bad guy on Raw with her sister and a good guy with her husband on SmackDown.
Sure you can.
It's weird.
Nobody pays attention to that stuff, pal.
You're right. You're right. I'm the only one that cares about storytelling.
Continuity, schmontinuity. It's wrestling. Moving on, we had Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre versus The Shield. And another, the weekly, will he, won't he?
Yeah, this was paid off very, very well in this match.
I felt so as well.
For somebody who has been adamant about how terrible this is because this wasn't an earned storytelling device, it was just one week, Dolph Ziggler goes, "Hey, Dean, they're champions. You're not. They don't care about you as much as you think they do."
Right.
And it's the will he, won't he? And so that played out throughout this entire match to the point where the Shield, they're known for surrounding the ring, getting up on the apron, and then going in. And so they started the match that way. Match goes on.
Good match.
Good, solid match. Everybody in this match
6 great workers in the
is
ring.
a talent.
Yeah.
Everybody's talented, so it's going to be a good match. Later in the evening, Dean Ambrose is knocked out of the
about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, whatever. I'm still up from after the Red Sox game. So Dean Ambrose and the 3 men of the Dogs of War or whatever they're calling themselves.
Sure.
Get up on the ring.
Strowman, Ziggler, and
McIntyre, and then Dean Ambrose are all surrounding the ring, and it's like, oh, is Dean going to turn on him? Is he going to turn on him?
will he, won't he?
And then no, he doesn't. He attacks Braun Strowman.
They all get in, and he makes a beeline straight across at Strowman.
Right, takes him out. But where this ultimately pays off is the finish. And
it was a wonderful finish.
It was an absolute wonderful finish, and this is how
executed perfectly.
This is how in-ring storytelling can complement storylines. Right. This is a great example of that because Braun Strowman is going around the ring just bodying
doing
people.
What he does.
Just bodying
He's
people.
a freight train.
And so he's lining up Dean Ambrose. He's going to body Dean Ambrose into the 5th
Theoretically,
row.
through the wall, through the crowd. He'll end up down in Sydney.
He's going to murder Dean Ambrose.
Right.
And so then he takes off, and Roman Reigns sacrifices his body for Dean Ambrose.
Spear timed perfectly
through the barricade. Right. And that takes out Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Then Dean Ambrose gets in the ring. Seth Rollins sacrifices his body for Dean Ambrose. to allow Dean to get the victory.
Right.
Thus proving that Seth and Roman are there for Dean.
Correct.
And so wow.
And Dean Ambrose getting the final pin.
Right.
It was a perfectly choreographed stream of events.
It was
wonderful.
And for a storyline that I didn't really, really enjoy because it came out of nowhere, they paid off beautifully.
Now you're kind of like, all right, let's see what happens.
Good job, guys.
I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
There you go. The Cruiserweight Championship, our first championship on the night. Cedric Alexander, who's kind of doing a Captain Marvel type gimmick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Versus Buddy Murphy, who, if you didn't know, was from Australia.
Yeah, it was shocking. They kept that under wraps. No, the big thing about Buddy Murphy is that he is the best kept secret in WWE. He is very, very talented. He's really helped rejuvenate the 205 Live brand. So having him be the guy to take on Cedric Alexander at this show was perfect. In his hometown, Cedric Alexander has not lost since WrestleMania when he won the championship.
And again, I have an old mindset, so it's, he's in his hometown.
Right.
And like you said, Cedric hasn't lost since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No way.
No shot.
No way he's getting the championship. Sure enough, they wanted to hear that 70,000 plus pop, and they popped huge.
Right.
Buddy Murphy, new Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, 205 Live, they're going to be moving over to be in front of NXT on Wednesday nights.
Yep.
So they're making a shift. It's going to be worth checking out, right? It already is. They've made that shift. They've retooled everybody. They've taken the reins off of them a little bit.
Yep.
So having Buddy Murphy kind of bring this
Be that guy.
new guy to kind of carry the torch for 205 Live, smart choice. Cedric Alexander is very talented. He is very good. But he's held this championship for 8 months, and it's now just time. It was time to move on.
Right. Now, do you know, you mentioned 205 Live moving to Wednesday nights before NXT. Are they still taping it the same way, or are they moving to Florida?
I believe they're gonna tape it.
Okay.
It's just gonna be pre-taped after SmackDown.
Still after SmackDown,
Yeah.
though. Okay. All right, fair enough. But it is moving to Wednesday
It
nights.
is. It is moving to Wednesday nights.
Tag Team Championship, SmackDown Tag Team Championship. This one actually kicked off the show. The Bar versus A New Day. This was my groggiest match because I was still
you're still awake.
rubbing the sleep out of my eyes, trying to get my coffee ready. It was a match.
Right. This is a classic first opener.
And we've seen this match 1,000 times.
Right. Everybody involved, very talented. Everybody involved, very fun. It's going to help you get into the show because, for a lot of us, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
On the dot.
Yeah, 5.
Here we go.
3 o'clock in the morning, so.
So it was what it was. New Day retained their titles, as expected.
Yeah.
It was funny, though. I noticed going through the show, SmackDown was the only one that really had any stake in this.
Yeah.
Raw was all, the Teddy Long Classic. Oh, let's have a tag team match. Let's throw everybody together.
Well, the Intercontinental, Universal, and Tag Team Champions were
all in one match.
In one match.
In one match, yeah.
And the Women's Champion was in another match.
It was exactly. But going on with SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. I've said it before, I love what Becky's doing.
Yeah, I loved the match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a very high quality, great contest. The issue is that if Becky Lynch is going to end up walking out tall, she should have just won. She shouldn't have been DQ'd.
Yeah, but they're really, what they're doing.
Right.
They're really pushing her as the chicken-ass heel.
Yeah, but...
they're trying, despite what the crowd is saying, they're not going to feed into what they're doing. They have a plan for this.
Right.
And the plan is Becky Lynch is a heel. And I know you're going to just comment and say, we don't want her to be a heel. We're Charlotte. Well, that's write your own show. Because they're having Becky be the bad guy in this situation. She's coming out. She's not doing her steampunk gimmick anymore. She's just walking out, raising her arm, confident, cocky, doing the whole deal. And then also cheating to win.
Right.
Which is kind of turning the tides on a Flair.
Right. I would have preferred just a different mode to escape with the championship. Hit her with the belt when the ref wasn't looking, something like that. Foot on the ropes, something like that. I don't enjoy DQ finishes.
Blatant ones like that.
In championship matches.
But what it did do, because as Liam said, Charlotte got the win through disqualification. Becky keeps the title. That brings us to the announcement that came right after the match.
Yeah.
GM Page phoned it in.
Yeah.
We're getting a rematch on Tuesday on SmackDown for the title. Is what it is. Moves the needle.
Right.
Keep it moving. Because this feels like something that we're going to see this match probably 6 times in the next few weeks.
Probably.
We're going to see this match at Evolution. We're going to see this match, probably at Survivor Series. At the Road. I don't know when it's going to end, but I'm not tired of it either.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't gotten tired of these two fighting each other.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Exactly. Speaking of not being tired, as two people fighting each other, it's been going on for 8 years. Number one contender for the WWE Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. In a shocker. The match itself was surprising.
I feel like somebody screwed up.
I feel like they were watching the watch.
But the main event was a half hour.
Exactly.
So
exactly, and they wanted to be out by 9 on the dot.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Come on, you know exactly what it was.
Yeah,
they're walking out like, Brian, small package out of nowhere. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what it was. But I love Daniel Bryan going on to Twitter and being like, "Yeah, Mr. Small Package hashtag."
Yeah,
It is what it is, but it was also a surprising and fun finish because you don't see that stuff anymore.
No,
you don't see the roll-up finishes anymore.
Yeah, it was shocking. I don't know what we're going to do because we're going to get to the WWE Championship match. While it's going to be fun for Crown Jewel, I think it's a missed opportunity or a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but you mentioned something on our last show that we'll get to in a second. So the WWE, Daniel Bryan won, by the way.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan won in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes with a small package out of nowhere. Get that hashtag going. WWE Championship match, AJ Styles, the champion, retains over Samoa Joe in what was billed as a very personal, no disqualification. It's going to be a brawl. His family's involved. He's sleeping under the kid's bed. It's all kinds of weirdness. It was a wrestling match, though.
Yeah, it was just a wrestling match.
Nothing.
There was some chair nonsense, but not a whole lot.
Was there?
I mean, it wasn't a sledgehammer and a table.
But again, that's the problem with booking these matches so close together.
Right.
Because you can't do, this isn't ECW. We can't have every match just breaking every table in the building.
Yeah, right.
You know?
This is why you don't have 2 no disqualification matches on the show.
Who knew the last one was going to be a no disqualification?
Yeah.
Only the boss.
Yeah, only the boss until the end.
But AJ Styles winning means at Crown Jewel, which is the last basically 5 days after Evolution.
Yeah,
that Friday.
Right, it's going to be right after Evolution in November.
Okay, so the first Friday in November in Saudi Arabia. That sounds about right. But anyway, it's AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, which again is one of those bucket list matches. Right. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we finally get to see that.
So
we said it about Shinsuke as well.
We did. The other thing too is Crown Jewel is so weird because the Prince is kind of booking this show, and this feels like I want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle for the WWE Championship against AJ Styles. Make it happen.
He wanted to see the Ultimate Warrior also in the last show.
He did. He didn't know. No. He didn't know.
Hologram?
Yeah, maybe.
Can we get a hologram?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just, this was the one, because it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Up and down from start to finish, it was a fun show. But this was the one that I'm like, man, they got so much invested in the story of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not buying the lack of brutality.
I would have thrown this.
It was good wrestling.
As soon as I knew that we were going to have 2 no DQ matches, I would have changed this to a cage. It would have been visually different. It would have felt more personal.
Sure.
Would have kept them contained.
Sure.
And we would have had a lot of fun to see what they would have done with it.
Especially based off the fact that AJ is now going to be moving on to Daniel Bryan.
Right.
This is technically the blow-off match that we didn't know was already ending.
Right.
You know, this is pretty much the end of the feud. I mean, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
He can't. He's got a match. What's
Right.
Joe just going to keep stalking his family and be like, catch you next month, pal?
Yeah, he also tapped out,
He did.
so it's very definitive. It's a very definitive ending.
As far as a wrestling match, a self-contained wrestling match, I enjoyed it. There was good in-ring psychology. He worked the leg. He ended it with the calf crusher, et cetera, et cetera. It was a good wrestling match.
Oh, yeah, it was very
But
good.
as far as a payoff to a storyline that they've been building, especially because they were kind of going old school with the storyline. He was at the house. He was knocking on the door. He was creeping in the daughter's bedroom or whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah,
it was weirdness, but
They
it was
dropped the
fun. It was
ball with
wrestling, and this wasn't, for me, this was the one I'm just like,
Yeah.
Could have gotten a little bit more out of that one.
Well, it all started when on SmackDown, Paige says that it was the most dastardly thing that had ever been done on SmackDown.
Dastardly.
And he ding-dong ditched AJ Styles' house. And it's like, I don't know if you've watched this show, Paige, but one of the men who wrestled at the end of the show, tried to crucify and sacrifice the daughter's the boss's daughter.
Boss's daughter.
He actually crucified at least 2 people. I'm pretty sure he murdered Orlando Jones.
Yep, there was that.
So I'm pretty sure that happened.
There was the whole Midian thing.
Yeah, the whole Midian thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Google that one, kids.
I'm pretty sure he set his brother, who was in his corner, set JR on fire.
And then at another match, he set his brother on fire.
Right. And then Kane also at one point kidnapped, forced to marry, and sexually assaulted Lita.
There was that.
So,
and there we say Katie Vick, but this Ding Dong Ditch
was
was the most dastardly thing in
ever.
WWE.
Ever.
Rewrite history, pal.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. So I guess we might as well move on to that match of dastardly deeds.
Yes.
Triple H versus The Undertaker. Who knew it was a no DQ? The boss knew it was a no DQ. He whispered into JoJo's ear just as he walked in. Apparently.
Yeah, right.
We have Kane in The Undertaker's corner. We have Shawn Michaels in Triple H's corner. And shenanigans go.
Yeah. Watching Kane just bumble around like an inept sheriff in a Dukes of Hazzard TV show.
Either get new gear or shave the taco meat. That is just, that's all. I'm like, what is he doing there?
The whole thing. Kane bumbling the entire time.
I know, he's got a state to run.
He's the mayor of Knox County, so you can't.
He's got some duties.
This was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was good. Mm-hmm. Everybody involved is still captivating, and it just shows you how when WWE just lets their talent go and be talented, they're really, really good at it.
Sure.
So this should be a note to the rest of the roster to just go out there, be yourself, and enjoy yourself, because this roster is uniquely built to have so many independent wrestling talents on it that they're used to this. They know what it's like to maintain and build a character. So let them do it, because on the independent circuit, you have a booker, you don't have a creative department. And so take the creative out of it and just let them work.
Right.
And you're going to get stuff like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Undertaker and Kane.
It like you said, I think the biggest thing that came out of this match is it was fun.
Right.
But also, because these four men in the ring are who they are.
And a combined age of 200.
It told a great story in the ring. There wasn't a lot of build up to it. It's like, all right, last time ever, sure. Now I can get into what I was talking about with John Cena. Okay. I'm tired of the fake retirements.
Yes.
It just needs to stop.
Yeah.
John Cena has given that same speech he gave this morning. He's given it 4 times this year.
Yes, he has.
This will always be my home.
So happy.
I'm going to do other things, but I'll just either do it
or don't.
Okay? Either be The Rock or don't.
Yeah,
Either be Shawn Michaels or don't.
Well, get on with it.
Exactly. And then the end of this match, it's like, all right, we saw you wept as The Undertaker retired 2 years ago, and he's had 5 matches since.
I know. It's just it's so annoying. It's annoying.
And now we get the last time ever. Okay, but because
of the way it ended.
Because the way it ended, it might be the last time we ever see the two of them wrestle one-on-one.
Right.
But you can bet your bottom dollar, if not at Crown Jewel, at whatever the next show is, Survivor Series, we are going to see the Brothers of Destruction versus DX.
Yeah. Well, the hot rumor is that Vince wants Shawn versus
Undertaker at
WrestleMania.
Yeah, but we're going to see that tag team match beforehand.
Yes,
I'm guessing at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally did their 1997 DX finisher.
Yes.
The sweet chin music into the pedigree, the dance around the thing. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm a child again. I want to watch Attitude Era.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Boop, boop, boop. Attitude Era. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
It was fun. It was great. And then, of course, Kane and The Undertaker. After the match, there was that emotional, we're all friends, we're all brothers, we've been down the road and done the thing, and then they just whip ass.
Yeah, right. And leave.
So Undertaker gets Triple H, Kane grabs Shawn Michaels, they beat him down, they throw him through tables. Yeah. Michaels is bumping more than Brock Lesnar. Did you tweet that?
No, I did not.
Somebody tweeted that, so I'm stealing it from him. I thought it was you. But he has bumped more this year than Brock Lesnar. And that's saying something. Because Shawn Michaels has been back 2 days.
Yes, he's marionetting all the way around the ring.
It's fun, though, despite having no hair.
Yeah, right. He now looks exactly like Kenny Chesney.
He really does. He really does. So. It was one of those things. It was like, okay, the haircuts, the first haircut he had was weird.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what's he going to do with that? And then I saw the headband. I'm like, all right, he's probably just going to understand. By the way, great job keeping the hat on.
Oh, I know.
That thing was glued for the whole match, and he's bumping all over the place.
Yeah, it wasn't until he got tossed out.
Literally had to go upside down twice
for
the hat to go boop.
Yeah, and he still caught it. It was like
in his hand.
And he's just like,
you wonder why this guy's the best in the business.
Yeah,
the
he's
best there ever was. There you go.
Yeah.
So that is
not
the WWE Super Showdown, the biggest house show in the history of WWE from Melbourne, Australia, held at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're here to give you the breakdown. Liam, your final thoughts on the show?
It was a great show. It's definitely worth watching. If you haven't checked it out, just head on over to the WWE Network. Go and watch it. It was worth watching. You know, the Triple H versus Undertaker match was really good. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz was really weird. Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
If you want to get invested in the cruiserweights and what they're doing on 205 Live, that's a perfect introduction.
It's a good match.
AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was a good match.
So there's a lot of stuff to check out.
The Iconics.
The Iconics.
The Iconics winning Australia. How can you beat it? And what I really liked about it was, despite it being a 4-hour show, the pacing was incredible.
Right.
They were just moving. Like, there was a point I was looking at, like, all right, we're at 6 o'clock and we're 4 matches down, but this might be a 3-hour show.
Right.
But they kept it, a tight 4 hours.
Yeah.
But it was a fast-paced show, which there was no point where I'm just like, oh, is this match going to be over?
Right.
And I think they knew what they were doing also. You got to keep the pace going because half of our audience is asleep.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So coming up in 3 weeks, October 28th, WWE's first all-women's pay-per-view, Evolution. That is going to be a fun show, I feel.
Yeah, these women have done a great job when being asked to do something. They've taken the ball and ran with it. And so having them get their own pay-per-view, I'm excited to see what they can do with it.
There's parts of me, because they've already booked a few matches, and 2 of the matches I feel should be 1 match. So we've already got booked. We got Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Then in another match, we have Lita and Mickie James.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, you're going to have Lita, Mickie James, and Trish Stratus on the same show and not just book the ultimate triple threat women's match ever.
Yeah, right.
That to me, but again, I'm armchair booking and the show hasn't even happened yet. I'm sure they're going to be great matches. But that's coming up next month. We will be breaking down that plus Crown Jewel right here for you on NESN. So don't miss that show, and we will see you then. Mike Wendt, Liam Stryker. Follow us on Twitter at Mike Wendt, at Liam NAI, #ThatWrestlingShow. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.